and I've drank a gallon of chocolate milk. Excellent laundry, you better be ready, pal. You better be doing the same, my boy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Triathlon Weekly News Roundup presented by thefreed.com. As we saw by that intro, we've got exciting racing coming up this weekend, and we'll dive into that race first with Lionel Sanders and Jackson Laundry. But it's a little bit later in the week, so I won't go over last weekend's race results. We'll just dive up into those upcoming races and also the big news headlines that I've heard so far this weekend. We've got some good ones as always, so I can't wait to dive into it. This last weekend, I was swimming the length of the lake, which you often see in the background of my videos. That was on my bucket list to do since I moved here, and finally got it done, but it was exhausting. And then I also did the local hill climb here with Phil Guyman. He attended. I'm sure many of you guys follow Phil's journeys, and yeah, he kicked my butt by like 40 minutes on a 2-hour hill climb. So that was really humbling, but I was exhausted from that. That's why this news is coming out a little bit later. But I'm glad I waited because some interesting points have come up in the last couple of days. So let's dive into it with that race, first of all, between Jackson Laundry and Lionel Sanders. Holy smokes, they have drummed up quite a stir on social media this past week, and yeah, love seeing Lionel calling out Jackson, telling him to be ready, and then Jackson's response on social media was just hilarious. I absolutely love the banter, and I think it's really revved up this race for Sunday in Augusta. But this time they will have to take on Mika Newt, who is coming back from his injury earlier this summer, and he looked like he was in fine form in the Asian Open before unfortunately blowing up on the run, but I think he could be in tip-top shape. He was 4th at 70.3 Worlds last year, and yeah, I think he could be the man to beat. I don't think he's going to travel to the US to be taken down easily. And then also Eric Clow will be racing a fan favorite. So many reasons to tune in. So glad that one will be broadcast, and especially because the women's racing there also looks pretty stacked with Paula Findlay back racing and Tamara Jewett as well, alongside other names. So it's going to be a good one, and definitely got to check it out. And there's also another 70.3 race in Cozumel that isn't broadcast. It's got the likes of Sarah Crowley headlining it on the women's side, as well as recent Ironman Maryland winner Michael Weiss, who looks in fine form. I do not envy them. I raced that race last year with my dad and almost died. It was so hot, and they pretty much ran out of water. And yeah, I just don't envy them at all, and props to them for trying to race it, because I just barely survived it. That brings us on to the WTCS Grand Final, the short course Grand Final, which is all up for grabs on both the men's and the women's side. On the women's side, it's Cassandra Beaugrand and Beth Potter going head to head. Whoever wins there will win the world title. Same on the men's side with Alex Yee and Hayden Wild. Whoever wins will take home the world championship. There's other ways for other men and women to win, but it looks like it'll come down to those two. Tim Hemming summed it up nicely on Twitter for us to see what the odds are of the other competitors winning. But I think another reason this is so good to watch this weekend is because of the US women trying to qualify for the Olympics, with Gwen Jorgensen managing to get on the start list. Now, Talbot Cox managed to stir up a bit of drama on Twitter. Going to be trying to beat Gwen Jorgensen and try and work together to not let her get an Olympic spot. So yeah, it'll be fun, dramatic, intense to watch. There's like 6 US women fighting for those last 2 spots, as Taylor Knibb grabbed one at the Paris Test event, and they have to get a podium in order to get that spot here at the Grand Final, which would be hard to do for any of them with the lineup that's currently racing there. So yeah, definitely unmissable. Saturday for the men's in the morning here at the US, and Sunday for the women's. You can watch it on triathlonlive.tv. There's also the Xterra World Cup final as well, with the likes of Bradley Weiss joining in. They just raced the short track race today, which Bradley Weiss didn't feature, and he said he wouldn't feature in this race. But it pretty much, for most of these athletes, is a warm-up for the long distance race on Saturday. It's gonna be so epic. It always is in Trentino in Italy. This place is stunning. The course is insane. And yeah, if you're gonna tune into Xterra, this is the time to do it, because like WTCS, it's also all up for grabs between the top guys. Artur Serie is definitely the favorite, but there's some wild cards in there who could do some crazy things, and there's some great tactics involved. I can't wait to watch it. But now onto the top headlines for the week. And the number one that I've been seeing and that affects me personally is that the Super League race in Malibu might not be taking place thanks to some flooding that took place on the course, but it now has this endangered fish in it, the tidewater goby, just a small fish that is on the Endangered Species Act, which means that Super League would have had to change the course, but it was supposed to happen, and it's required by the city to happen 32 days in advance. They need the notice of the change to happen that far in advance, which they weren't able to do. They were just 1 or 2 days off, which meant that the first appeal was nulled, and then the second appeal went to 2-2 in the voting, which means that now it looks like another appeal will take place, and we will find out on Monday whether that race will go ahead. 5,000 athletes usually registered at this race, and the charitable donations usually add up to over $1 million for pediatric cancer research, so it's hard to imagine that this small fish would take down this massive race, which has always had celebrities attend it. And yeah, this seems like crazy that the city would not let it go ahead due to policy, and that they need 32 days plus for it to go ahead, even though it seems like it's an easy solution. And then we're on to the second piece of news, and that is that Jan Frodeno will be racing again. He is not done. That was not his last Ironman. He will be racing Ironman Israel. It seemed like he had been fully settled into his retirement, seen attending an NFL football game with the Oakley team here in the States, but also swinging some golf balls, which he didn't quite look like he was any good at. Maybe that's why he decided to come out of retirement and race Ironman Israel. Not sure how much he'll be racing it, but he'll definitely be there. And not sure if he'll be really racing it, but he'll be there. And I wonder if this is a hint that he might keep coming out of retirement, and there'll be constantly one more last dance from Jan. Yeah, that'll be fun to see how that develops. But moving on from there, another person coming back, and that's Alistair Brownlee, announced he'll be racing Challenge Barcelona in October. I believe it will be an interesting distance called the Elite Short Distance. Not too sure if that's the exact distance he'll be racing, but yeah, good to see him back. And then Javier Gomez, who I updated you guys on last week, won another triathlon in Spain, so he's well on his way. He also got inducted into the World Triathlon Hall of Fame this week. And turns out, I didn't know this, but he's also in a band, and he'll be playing a rock concert in Pontevedra this weekend, where all those short course athletes are. So maybe some of the men will be heading out to go watch him on Saturday night after they have a good result. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I can't wait to see him back on some big start lines coming up soon. But then also I saw news in Sam Long's post-race debrief from Ironman Maryland. I thought this was super interesting that he said he was feeling good enough after the bike that he could possibly run a sub 2:30 marathon and beat Patrick Lange's current Ironman marathon record time. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me. I've only ever done one Ironman, but I remember when I started that run, I was feeling great, and I thought I could beat my marathon PR when I started. And I don't know, it seemed like Sam had a bit of that crazy moment too, and he said it was pretty idiotic after he ended up running like a 2:45, 2:44. So but it'd be interesting to see how he does in the future with his Ironman runs, and I wonder if he does actually have it in the bank in training. But yeah, I loved hearing that from him, and yeah, it just makes me relate to him a little bit more. And then finally, the last bit of news I got is 3,800 athletes will be racing Jones Beach 70.3, which will be the largest ever inaugural 70.3 race. It's just a half Ironman. It's crazy to me that there will be as many athletes racing there as Challenge Roth, which is a full distance race, and seeing 3,800 athletes racing there, plus the relay athletes as well. It was pretty crowded over, you know, a one loop long bike course. I can't imagine how crowded it's going to be on the bike course there. I'd be really interested to see pictures and videos if any of you guys will be out there, so please do send them to me. But then moving on to the hot takes this week, I thought this one was a good one. I've had this one in the bank for a while. Now, I heard Paula Findlay say on her podcast, and it's what made me think of this hot take, that she doesn't actually really enjoy racing the 100-kilometer PTO distance because it's basically just an all-out time trial, and whoever can hold the speed the longest is going to win in the end, and there's a lot less tactics and dynamics in the race. And then versus the 70.3 distance, which has pack dynamics and tactics, and people can sit in and people can go to the front and try to break away. And then we've heard people like Frederick Funk and Laura Phillips saying that this is terrible and we need a 20-meter draft zone, and Lionel's always said it too, and it's just unfair and it's uncontrolled. And Frederick Funk said when you're sitting third or fourth wheel with motorbikes to your side, you're barely pedaling. So yeah, it's a really interesting debate. I personally still like the 100-kilometer distance and the 20-meter draft zone with Race Ranger. I just think it's just still so much more fair, and yeah, so that's my opinion. But what do you guys think? Do you like the ability in 70.3 races to maybe see a guy who's not so strong on the bike sit in a pack and do well? Yeah, I just would love to hear your opinion on that one. But then moving on to the video of the week for this week, the Challenge Roth motion video. This one was one of the best triathlon videos I've ever seen put together. I saw these guys in Challenge Roth making this video, and I just couldn't wait to see the end result. And it blew my mind how good it is. It really captures what it's like to be there in Roth. So if you guys are going there next year, or you would just love to see it one day, I highly recommend. It's what I felt while I was there. I'm so excited that I managed to get my dad signed up for it, and I will be making some videos on his training and sharing with you his journey to Roth, his first ever full distance before he's 60 years old. It's a dream of his to do, and I just wanted to share that with him while I was there this last year. So I'll give you some updates from my dad as he trains for this, and then eventually when we go there. Moving on from there, the article of the week is another one from Triathlete. I thought this was perfect timing with the short course grand final, and it is the origins of the Olympic distance in triathlon. Now, we just had the Ironman World Championships, and we heard a lot about the beginning of Ironman and the beginning of the Nice World Championships, and this was something that I didn't know, and how the Olympic distance began and how it became the international standard distance. And well, worth a read if you're interested. I'm sure a lot of you, like me, maybe don't know about this. So great dig up from Triathlete, and that's why I got the article of the week. And then moving on to my favorite segment, which is now here to stay, I think, the humor of the week. And this one, Jana Philippe and Frederick Funk, who I've had on the podcast. I love these two. They're such a great couple. And Jana caught Frederick Funk on the spontaneous hike they did, checking out his muscles as they were hiking.
Watching my muscles.
This one cracked me up. It's probably something I would do, and my girlfriend would definitely make fun of me for it. But yeah, that's it for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Just a quick one, and yeah, I'm so pumped for this weekend. I'll try to get the news out early next week, although I am running a marathon on Sunday, so I might be a little tired and destroyed as I'm doing the race recaps and whatnot. But yeah, really looking forward to it, and I can't believe the season is starting to come towards an end, and just so glad we've got Kona coming up in almost 3 weeks now, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.
Thank you for watching the video. If you're new around here, then don't forget to subscribe. This channel is all about helping triathlon become a huge sport through weekly news videos, highlights, motivational videos, race reporting, and anything else you can think of, with a splash of my own triathlon journey thrown in. The goal is for this to become the YouTube hub for everything professional triathlon, and I would love to do it full time to give back to you and create an amazing community. To help me do that, I need you to get behind me by supporting me for the price of a gel on either Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. You can also join in on the conversation on Discord and follow me on Instagram. The more support, the more content. And don't forget, it's simple. Try every day. We'll see you in the next one.